So there's this brand new plan for peace in Gaza that's just been put on the table. It's all centered around this new high-profile executive board. But from the second it was announced, it has just been caught up in this massive, and I mean massive, debate. And that really gets to the heart of it, right? Is this some bold new model for peace? Or is it what critics are already calling a colonial arrangement in disguise? I mean, the answer here, it could change everything. All right, so first up, let's talk about the plan itself. The White House has just officially announced this new executive board, and their job is to oversee Gaza's future. And listen, you gotta understand, this isn't some small-time committee. Nope, this is being presented as a huge new initiative. But the thing that's really getting all the attention, the first big point of controversy, it's not just the plan itself, it's who is actually on this board. I mean, just take a look at this lineup. It's a real who's who of American power and influence. You've got the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, former senior advisor Jared Kushner, and special envoy Steve Witkoff. And then you've got these heavy hitters from the financial world, Ajay Banga, who's the president of the World Bank, and Mark Rowan, the CEO of Apollo Global Management. And rounding it all out is the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. So let's just connect the dots here. Out of the 6 people they've announced so far, only one of them, Tony Blair, is an American. And that fact, that huge American presence, is a really key detail. It's basically pouring fuel on the fire of this whole debate. Okay, but the drama doesn't stop with just the people on the board. It also has to do with the document that lays out their whole mission, the board's draft charter. And, well, that's already causing a huge stir. And this is where we get the first really blistering critique. Human rights experts took one look at the charter and said, well, they said it looks like a colonial arrangement. I mean, that is some seriously strong language, and it's pretty much setting the tone for how the world is reacting. So if you actually dig into this charter, you start to notice some things that are, well, missing. And they're pretty big things. For example, the whole document talks about a new framework for the region, but, and this is wild, it never, not even once, actually says the word Gaza. It also talks a big game about a departure from old institutions, but it conveniently leaves out the name of the biggest one of all, the United Nations. Yeah, in fact, the charter actually goes out of its way to praise the courage to depart from institutions that have too often failed. It's not exactly subtle, right? That's a pretty clear shot fired directly at the UN, and it frames this new board as a total replacement, not some kind of partner. And look, the criticism isn't only coming from human rights groups. We're now seeing a very fast and very official objection coming straight from the Israeli government, obviously a huge player in the region. And their statement? It was crystal clear. The Israeli government said, flat out, that these plans had not been coordinated with Israel and contradict its policy. Wow. I mean, that's a massive diplomatic roadblock right from the get-go. It really suggests there's just no regional buy-in for this thing. So you've got all this controversy swirling around the members, the charter, and now this official pushback from Israel. The big question, of course, is what now? Well, it turns out all eyes are on a major global event happening very, very soon. So get this, the full final list of members for this board is going to be officially announced next week, and it's happening at the World Economic Forum in Davos. This is basically the moment this whole plan goes from being a piece of paper from the White House to a real formal international entity. And that brings us right back to square one, doesn't it? Is this a genuinely bold attempt to finally break a stalemate that's lasted for decades? Or, by totally sidelining the UN and not even coordinating with key partners, is this plan just doomed from the start, buried by the controversy it created itself? That is the billion-dollar question hanging over everyone in Davos.